Just to introduce myself, my name is Daisy. I work at SQUASHTV. I'm the executive director out here in Amman, Jordan. And SQUASHTV has now been running for about 5.5 years. It actually started when an American guy called Clay came over to Jordan. He was studying over here and he was volunteering with an organization working with young refugee and underprivileged girls in Jordan. He loved squash, so he started to teach squash at this organization and found that there were 3 sisters in particular that were super talented in squash. So he went to the Jordan national team and was like, look, these girls are excellent, you should take them onto the team. But they refused because they were Syrian. So as you might know, as your audience might know as well, Jordan is home to a lot of refugees from a lot of different places. There are refugees from Palestine, from Syria, from Iraq, from Sudan, from Somalia, all sorts of different places who come and who live in Jordan, but who don't have as many rights as the Jordanian people that live here. Pile on top of that the economic situation, and it's a very difficult situation for the Jordanians and the refugee community here. So having seen that these girls were excellent at squash, but that they weren't allowed on the national team, Clay decided to start working with them on his own to try and start training them in squash. So it started with these 3 girls who were kind of known as these squash streamers. And then it grew from there, really. Rachel, who was also working with Clay at the time, started an education program to go alongside it, teaching English, knowing that if girls wanted to get scholarships into universities or schools, that they would need to be able to speak really good English. Currently working with 41 girls who are from a variety of backgrounds. As I mentioned, Jordan is home to lots of refugees. It's a safe space for so many people here. And we work with girls who are Jordanian, Palestinian, Sudanese, and Syrian at SQUASHTV. So there's a really big mix of people that are there. Our staff are also Syrian and Jordanian and Palestinian and from the UK. So it's kind of like a lovely meeting of cultures and nationalities that come together. These girls go to school and then they come home and they get to sit and watch their brothers play outside while they stay inside. Often when these girls are going to school as well, Jordan school system is now run on a shift system. So you're either a morning girl or you're an afternoon girl. You work out usually getting maybe like 2 or 3 hours of school per day. And when COVID hit, first off, they closed all the schools and then people started going in maybe every other day a week. So you've got some girls who were going into school for 2 days, so maybe 2 hours, which is nothing. And so the idea of kind of what we're doing here is really to support them in their learning through the education side of what we're doing, and to give them an opportunity just to come and play. As everyone knows, at the PSA and the WSF, squash is such a great tool to be used to work on physical health, to work on mental health, to work on making friends, to give yourself like a skill that you can use in the future, whether or not that be a coach or playing professionally. And it also really helps us in working with the girls and becoming more rounded individuals. You know, there's this idea of being a sportsman or a sportswoman, and that you are somebody who is calm and that you are a rules-based thinker and that you are fair. So this is another one of the really positive things that squash brings to the girls. The girls that we work with are truly some of the most vulnerable people in the world, one of the most vulnerable communities in the world. They are young refugee and underprivileged Jordanian girls who do not get to go outside and play often, or who do not get to go to school all the time. So when they come to us, we provide them with a safe space in which they can play, but they can grow and then they can learn at the same time. The confidence and the change that you see in the overall mental health of the girls coming to us, because they have this safe space in which they can just thrive for like 3 hours, is amazing. And one of our biggest achievements to date is Isra, who is one of the girls who works with us at SQUASHTV, was awarded a scholarship for the summer program at King's Academy, which is the best school in Jordan. It was a school founded by the king. And she was there working on her English, working on her academics generally, on full scholarship, and just had the most amazing time. Played a lot of squash when she was there on their fully furbished squash courts. Our aim here as squash streamers and kind of like, I know what a lot of people will read about is to try and change the lives of the young girls through squash and education, trying to get them into private schools, trying to get them to play professional level squash, trying to get them scholarships into colleges and this kind of thing. I am under no illusion at all that not every single girl will be able to go to a private school, nor do I think that every single girl will become a professional level squash player. But what I can promise is that every single girl who comes to Squash Streamers becomes the champion of her own life. And that when they are here with us, through making friends, through playing sport, through learning more about the world and learning more about themselves, they truly do go out into the world as more rounded individuals ready to make change in their lives and other people's lives. I'd go in and there were these little girls running around with squash rackets being like, I'm going to show you how to play squash, I'm going to show you how to play squash. And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, this little girl's only 6. I was like, she can't be that good at sport at all. But they love it. They absolutely love it. And so the impact that it can have, especially when you start young, I think is huge. I mentioned kind of just slightly before, but I'll say it again. Being able to be part of a team, being able to be part of a community, being able to have a hobby that is yours makes so much of a difference. These girls come in to us, and well, they come into us, they come and play squash, they come into English, they have this great community of other women and other young girls they are friends with that they can identify with who also love playing the squash. And it's really important to us to kind of zoom in as well and see each girl as an individual. So like, you know, like I mentioned, every single one of our girls has these huge dreams. So many of them want to be the best squash players in the world. We have girls that want to be doctors. They want to be nurses. They want to go back to Syria and teach squash. They want to go back to Syria and teach English. We have girls who want to travel the world. We have girls who want to be dancers, who want to be singers, who want to be artists. We have girls who want to work in the corner shop. We have girls who want to work on the bus, driving the bus, you know, and we want to make sure that not to give that dream to them, but to work with them to give them the skills that they need to have a choice, to be able to choose what they want to do in the future, to have the education to be able to choose, to have the skills through squash, you know, of that sportswomanship, of you know, something they can use to work on their mental health and their physical health. We want to give them the resources that they need to be able to choose and have a choice of what they want to do in the future. One of the things that we do is we all gather around in a circle and we speak about one positive thing and one negative thing from the week, so that we can kind of let it all out before we go onto the court, before we go into the classroom, so that we're ready to start. And the question that I ask every single time before we start a session is, today, if we lose, what do we do? And the girls shout, like, we smile. And I say, and if we win, what do we do? And they go, we smile. And I ask them why. And they go, because we're a family. And I think for me, that encompasses everything of what we're about. The last thing that I just wanted to say is just a massive thank you to the PSA. The foundation is absolutely wonderful, and you guys have been such a great support to us in everything that we're doing in Jordan. We so appreciate the support from everyone all around the world, but specifically from you guys. You're a really wonderful organisation doing some really wonderful work, and we're really grateful for the light that you shine on our project and kind of lots of different projects as well. So thank you.